moving into our mental health portion of today, which is new on the schedule. We didn't have it last year, but we felt like since we're talking so much about mind, body, and spirit and the dis-ease in the body, that it was important that we pay a little bit attention to our mental health and well-being. The gal that I'm about to introduce you to is, very brave in the sense that she's publicly shared her story and she is a public figure. Her story involves incest and substance abuse, self-destructive behavior, a disconnect between trauma and her mental condition. And her whole body wasn't really functioning at an optimum as a result of this disconnect from the head and the heart, and also the self-abuse and a history that she didn't connect to her self-destructive behavior. We've seen her on TV, watching her on One Day at a Time, and she's just an amazing, amazing woman. Please give a warm welcome to Mackenzie Phillips. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fran.
So go ahead and share with them, and I'll sit here if you need me to jump in.
All right. Hi, I'm Mackenzie. How's everybody doing out there today? It's really nice to be here. I have a frog in my throat. I was feeling a little anxiety before I came up here, and what I've come to realize over these many years of fighting the good fight for my own personal freedom and my own mental health and my relationships in my life is that I'm a person who has anxiety. And I don't know if there's a correlation, but I think the older I get, I'm gonna be 57 in November, woohoo! The older I get, the more I feel anxious. And I wonder what that's a function of. Sometimes I think it might be a function of changes in my brain chemistry or whatever that may be. But when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a lot of things. I went to my mom and I said, you know what I want to be, Mom? I want to be a Jewish. Okay? I don't know, I was baptized Episcopalian, but all the kids in my neighborhood were Jewish. And so I started going to Temple Judea in Tarzana, and I was studying for my bat mitzvah. And then I got the job in American Graffiti, so I never got to convert like I had planned. I wanted to be a fireman, and my mom said, all firemen are boys. So I was like, I guess I can't be a fireman. And then I said, I want to be a nun. And she said, well, nuns can't have boyfriends, they're married to Jesus. So I couldn't be a nun. And then I said, I want to be an abnormal psychologist, because I didn't understand why the grown-ups in my life were behaving in certain ways that were really disturbing and upsetting to me as a small child. It took many years for me to get to my version of abnormal psychologist, and I only have a few minutes, but I will tell you a little bit about that. I sort of ended up riding the train in the direction it was going, and I went and auditioned for a movie, and I got it, and it became like the biggest movie of the year. What I didn't know, and what hadn't been shared with me, was that I had a sleeping monster traveling inside of me, and that monster was the disease of alcoholism and addiction. And all around me, I saw representations of excess, and I didn't understand why the people were doing the things that they were doing in my life, hence the wanting to untangle the mysteries of the mind and behavior. But I rode that train, that acting train, in the direction it was going for many, many years, all through many struggles with addiction and many attempts at being sober and crashing and burning over and over again. But I was never able to connect the incest and the sexual abuse by my father to my need to not feel. And it took me many years, and people would go, what is wrong with this woman? She's got everything. She's been sort of handed everything a person could want, and yet she continually, every door that's open, she just kind of kicks it closed behind her with her foot, And until I was able to really live in my truth and connect the dots and untangle the wires, so there's connection and there's disconnection. You see, there's learning and there's unlearning, that I had to go and find for myself in order to survive, was I able to be at peace? Yes, okay, so I have a little bit of generalized anxiety disorder, but I don't need to medicate it. I don't need to medicate my pain. I don't need to medicate my joy. I can live out loud as a woman in recovery. And I made the choice to follow passion rather than expectation. I lived by, I was only as good as my last project. Are you still an actor? What's your next gig? And I felt like so less than when I didn't have an answer for that. And I was at an event and I was pushing my little mommy in a wheelchair. I spent my whole life chasing after her, and here I was pushing her wheelchair. My God, how the sands of time turn. And a woman at this event came up to me and she said, "So what are you doing? You're still an actor, right?" And I felt that my heart drop. Like, wow, in her eyes and therefore in my own eyes, I will be less because I've chosen a different path. 5 or 6 years ago, I went back to school, and I've been working as a drug and alcohol counselor at Breathe Life Healing Centers, and we have a booth here today. Thank you for the booth. My passion is to help the next poor person. Come on, man, I know you're tired, but I think I've found the way, and I might be able to take you down that path. And so I followed my passion that was a little sprout when I was a little girl, when I was trying to understand behavior, but I didn't follow it for like 45 years. And then in that moment where I wanted to choose life, I chose life, and I chose my passion. And I still get to write books, and I still get to do fun things like, go on Valerie Bertinelli's cooking show or whatever, but, and people come up to me and they go, "Okay, so you're totally doing this for a reality show, right? You don't really go there every day." I'm like, "No, I really go there every day, and I work full time, and it's my passion, and I'm just so honored to be here and to tell you a little bit of my story." I know I've gone 34 seconds over my time allotted, but I want to thank you for listening and being so lovely. Thank you.